So this month I'm trying to watch a movie every day that has something to do with October or Halloween or creepiness. These are the 31 movies I'm going to try to watch this October. You should check all of these out. I love all kinds of movies, so I have a few different sections. So if you don't like horror or if you don't like comedy, keep watching. There's definitely going to be something on this list that you're going to love. Section number 1. Classic horror. To beat my crazy slasher quota, I've got Amityville Horror, Psycho, The Shining, Friday the 13th. And Silence of the Lambs, because who doesn't love cannibalism? Also in my classic horror list is The Poltergeist, The Exorcist, Pea Soup, Suspiria, someone was definitely doing a lot of drugs when they made that movie, Rosemary's Baby, because hail Satan, and lastly, Carrie, because buckets of blood. Buckets of blood. What else do you need in a horror movie? Nothing. And then of course, to balance out all of the terrifying movies in classic horror, I have classic comedies. Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, murder mystery plus hilarity, Clue, Casper, The Addams Family, Young Frankenstein, Beetlejuice, the most perfect mix of humor and horror ever created ever, and of course Ghostbusters, because how else are you gonna know who to call? Kid-friendly movies, because I totally love kid movies because I'm a dork. Nightmare Before Christmas, awesome music, amazing stop-motion animation, and it's good for 2 holidays. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, because there's a troll in the dungeon! Paranorman, because it's super cute. Edward Scissorhands, Coraline, and Halloween Town. If you can't admit to yourself that you love the Halloween Town movies, you're living a half-life, and I pity you. Zombie movies. They get their own section because I love them so much. 28 Days Later and its sequel 28 Weeks Later. They're an interesting take on the zombie genre, but still incredibly terrifying. Shaun of the Dead, obviously, and Zombieland, equally horrifying and hilarious. And lastly, my top 5. Number 5, Blair Witch Project. I think this movie is way underrated. It started out as someone's grad project, but it turned into this underground cult classic, and it's brilliant and revolutionary and still has the ability to terrify me. Number 4, The Craft. Think Mean Girls meets witchcraft, and it's awesome. Number 3, Paranormal Activity. Definitely got a lot of inspiration from the Blair Witch Project, but it still holds its own. Cost less than $15,000 to make, and it is easily one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. It plays on your worst fears, and it leaves a ton up to the imagination. It's creepy and incredibly realistic. Number 2, Hocus Pocus. Does this even need a reason? And number 1, Cabin in the Woods. Another movie I find to be completely underrated. It's brilliant and no one gives it a chance because they think it's cheesy, but that's the whole point. It's a satire of classic horror movies, specifically The Evil Dead, which is also kind of cool. You should watch that. These are what I'm watching this month, and you should check them all out too. Be sure to check out my blog, there's a link in the description, and subscribe.